going on, everybody? Welcome to the No Contest Wrestling Podcast. I am the heel that you love to hate, that baseball hating Dodger, O'Shea Jackson Jr.
It's me. It's that TOOJIGG. You know, I'm just channeling my inner road dog right there.
Man.
Hey, yo, it's TJ Jefferson here with
you.
Welcome to No Contest Wrestling.
Yeah, man. So we had some pretty impactful things happen on WWE. One thing that I am really just trusting Paul with, really trusted him with, my man Jey Uso lost the Intercontinental Championship.
After 29 days.
I couldn't even get a month. It was like February. It was like
February.
Black History Month and a leap year.
And they gave you an extra day.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, there's just a part of me that's like, so you're telling me there's no world where Roman Reigns' music hits, he saves his cousin, and we can still push that forward without my guy losing the title that we all were just so happy for him to have? I feel like I'm watching Brock Lesnar just rip Kofi Kingston in front of this new Fox TV deal. And it stung, and it really, I was waiting for that OTC music, and it just didn't happen. And I mean, yeah, now I hate the new Bloodline.
Well, I mean, look, and that means that they did their part, right? They did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
When Jey shows up on SmackDown, and he kind of, I won't even say he challenged Solo, but he was like, look what I did on my own.
Yeah.
This is something you can do. You kind of had the understanding, I think, that this was going to happen, right? But the way he did it, the way he asked Solo why he brought the Tongans in and why he brought Jacob in, that was some real stuff, because we all have those black sheep in our family, right? Who maybe the one half of the family don't really mess with like the other half, or someone who you kind of, like I said, the black sheep.
We all got silver teeth cousins.
Yeah, right? So Jey really did a good job of asking Solo why you went and did what you did to bring them in. And Jacob, you know we don't mess with him like that.
Yeah, he bite.
That was some real stuff right there to me.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why the Bloodline story has been so compelling, because it's family. Mm-hmm. It's real drama interwoven into it. It's nothing fake about it. And it's these ups and downs that are part of the job. I just praised AEW for breaking everybody's heart.
Yeah.
And like another moment, you know, we always talk about on this show, when did wrestling break your heart? That moment right there, Braun Breaker destroying Jey and taking, that's some kid's moment.
Oh, yeah.
That's some young wrestling fan or young superstar's moment.
Who's out there eating.
Yeah, who's like, no, I gotta right this wrong some kind of way. So, you know, it's definitely going to fuel this story. It's going to do what, I mean, me as a Bloodline fan, I want to see them back together. So that's aiding it forward. But, man, it's always going to be a what if they let him keep that.
That hurt a little bit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But also, you know, a lot of people have their thoughts on Solo as the tribal chief.
Who did win North American? He did win that North American.
He had that belt for a cup of coffee. But Solo, I feel, is doing a good job of, now he's starting to like come into his own. It took a while. I wasn't impressed or accepting of it at first, but when he went face to face with Roman, and Roman agreed to acknowledge him, but he wouldn't acknowledge him as the tribal chief, Solo kind of stood his ground. And then you saw Roman. Roman's still, at the core, he's still going to be this egotistical, kind of arrogant dude.
Rightfully so.
Who sees himself as the head of the family, as the head of the table, as the tribal chief. So for him to come out and acknowledge, so yeah, I acknowledge you as what, though? Not the tribal chief. Yeah. And then Solo stood his ground, which made Roman snap into a, you know, and what to him.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay. I'm not sure exactly where this is going, but I love the path that they're taking.
We know what it takes in order for you to be tribal chief. We know what has to go down. It's either the elders, or trial by combat. You know, like,
and that's the one thing. Solo never actually won the Ulafala. He just
picked it up off the ground.
Took it. And Roman's so, I guess, attached to it. If you see, every time he gets his hands on it, he loses kind of a sense of where he is, and then it always gets snatched back.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's just more of it. It kind of reminds me of, these are two separate worlds, I know. But remember when Bubba Ray used to slam divas through tables and go into a trance?
Yes.
Kind of like that. Roman feeling his purpose, kind of refuel his soul. And we all know where this is headed. Survivor Series has to go down. I'm wondering if it goes even further because, they just grow. They grow fatus everywhere, man. There's right. There's plenty more room where they can go with this. And one thing that we did see, though, that's outside of the bloodline, that Braun and that Jacob moment.
Let me explain to you something. Braun Breaker, son of Rick Steiner, nephew of Scott Steiner, he spears Solo outside the ring, which I thought was where Solo came to help Jay. You got to pick up on that. Solo came down there. He brought Tonga Tama to help Jay. Jay, of course, didn't see it that way.
Right.
He spears Solo. Next thing you know, Jacob comes out. And then you get that matchup. I haven't felt that way since Hogan and Andre stood face to face and looked at each other. I haven't felt that way since Austin and Rock stood and just looked at each other. Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker. I'm like, I didn't know I wanted it, but now I need it. I got to have it.
Yeah, I thought when we saw Strowman and Bronson just destroy everything in the arena, that's what Jacob and Breaker need.
Yeah.
I just needed to just be the most cinematic, prop breaking nonsense. And just I need the chaos. Obviously, this is just the tease. There's, Jacob has done some solo work in the live shows and things like that. But we know where it needs to happen.
Yeah, and now we like I said, we see Survivor Series. We know we're going to get Bloodline versus Bloodline. We don't know who's going to be in it. We know kind of the new Bloodline side. We realize we're going to have Roman and Jimmy. Let's just be honest. Chances are we are going to get Jay.
Yeah,
but who's that fourth going to be? Is Sami Zayn going to come back to the family? Will it be Tala Tonga?
All right.
The brother.
I mean, but that's
who they've signed.
Do they have time though? Do they have the time to
do you need time to? You have a 6'8" Tongan come out.
Throw him out there.
It's like so. I'm invested. I know you are.
Yeah.
This Bloodline thing. If you're not a fan, I'm sorry.
Yeah. What?
You either got to become a fan or find something else to watch. This isn't going to end anytime soon, and I know we're excited for it.
Absolutely, and we're talking about. What if Roman would have came out to help Jay? What if they would have let him have the Intercontinental Championship a little longer? What if Braun and Jacob go together? So, I mean, I feel like what ifs is a perfect segue.
Yeah. And also, if you watch SmackDown on Friday, you understand that Cody Rhodes came out. He started talking about what ifs throughout the history of wrestling. And he gave 3 in specific. He said NWA champion Harley Race versus WWF champion Bruno Sammartino as a what if back in the day. Could you imagine? He also mentioned AWA champion Nick Bockwinkel, one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time, in my opinion, taking on the Nature Boy Ric Flair, champion versus champion. He also mentioned WCW's Bill Goldberg against Stone Cold Steve Austin. In the world of professional wrestling, there are literally hundreds of thousands of what ifs that could happen. So that's what O'Shea and I decided to do this week. We wanted to take each of us 3 what ifs throughout the history of wrestling. And O'Shea, because this can be done so many times, I have a feeling this won't be the only time that we do this, because how can you narrow them down to 3? But we did. We each gave 3 what ifs, and we're going to explain how that could have changed the history or the course of wrestling. So who's your number 3?
My number 3.
What is your number 3, I should say?
My number 3 moment. And this is just to dig at everybody on Twitter. What if those damn Cody crybabies would have just knew their role and shut their mouths and let us get Rock versus Roman at 40? Oh my God. Can you just shut up and watch TV? I wanted so bad to be in Philadelphia. Yeah, the Philly crowd.
You were in Philadelphia.
Rock, that whole thing, and be able to watch Roman break Hulk Hogan's streak. I wanted that so bad. And before all of you get on Twitter, well, but what, you can't take away what Hulk did for the business. Not about Hulk. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Roman Reigns, greatest of all time. I don't care what nobody say. Argue in the comments with yourself. But yeah, man, I really wanted to see that. I really wanted to hear Michael Cole say that Roman Reigns, who I look at as my Mr. WrestleMania, most main events, yada, yada, yada. You know, he would have had the longest streak in the WrestleMania era. I would have loved to have that. And obviously, what Roman has done, it's hard to take that away. He's going to stand the test of time. He's still doing it. I hope I get to see him with the title again. But yeah, I use that third one just to dig at y'all. The other two, you'll agree with me.
And I agree. You know, so many people for so many years, we wanted Roman against The Rock.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We're getting to a point in time where we have to make this happen soon because Father Time, as we all know, is undefeated. There's going to be a time where Rock probably can't physically do it, but you know, the way he looks, that could be 10 years from now. Who knows? But what we did get was one of the greatest WrestleMania main events of all time, the way it all panned out with everyone coming and becoming a part of that match. I sat there. I was in the third row on hard cam side, and it was just an amazing, amazing outcome. So they tried something, didn't work. They swerved. Shout out Nana.
Oh my God.
They swerved, and I think they ended up with something a little bit better. This is kind of my personal opinion.
Well, my personal opinion, to hell with what you say. All right? I don't give a damn. Cody, we cool or whatever.
That's my man.
But like, man, we knew you was going to get the title eventually, man. Come on, baby. You could have gave me a couple months. You would have had to get it right now.
Couple months? You had 3 years.
Yo, chill, bro. Chill.
Right. So I'm going a little deeper with mine, and mine is this. Back in the early SmackDown days, you know,
UPN.
Kurt Angle's in the middle of the ring, and he asks for a challenger. Out walks out a guy, says his name is John Cena. He says he brings ruthless aggression. He slaps the
prototype.
He slaps the lips off of Kurt's face, or I like to say the face off his lips. And then the character of John Cena is born. But John Cena has admitted that character got stale. He has admitted that he was close to getting fired at one point.
Right.
So my number 3 what if for today is, what if Stephanie McMahon didn't hear John Cena freestyling on the back of the bus that day? Because the story goes, they're on the bus going somewhere. Cena's in the back, I believe, with Rikishi, Rey Mysterio, a few people, and he starts to freestyle. Cena, you know, he's got bars.
Yeah.
And Stephanie McMahon hears this, and she suggested a tweak to his character. The Doctor of Thugonomics is born. Word life. This is basic thugonomics.
Yep.
That became huge, right? John Cena, he came out in every town with the different jerseys. He had a rap for everybody he was going against, every city, every town, every opponent. Changed the perception of John Cena. It led to over a decade-long run of John Cena being on top of the WWE and thus being on top of the wrestling world. So I always have to wonder, if Stephanie McMahon did not hear John Cena rap, what would have happened for that time period?
We wouldn't have got the man, and
whether, regardless of whether you're a Cena fan or not, for him to stay on top of this company for as long as he did, no other wrestler has done that.
Yeah. When I was a fan of the Doctor, I was a fan of that, but then once it got to, Super Cena, I'm not going to act like I was jumping for joy.
I get that, yeah.
And shout out to my little brother Sharif. My little brother Sharif is a member of C Nation.
Word.
Like he will
ride for
don't
Cena.
Disrespect John. Don't disrespect John in front of Sharif. But he's definitely one of those staples in WWE that is one of the most professional people on the planet.
Of all time.
On the planet. The Make-A-Wish Foundation and everything that he has brought is because Stephanie heard him on that bus.
And you have to, regardless of if you were a fan or not, if you were in charge of $1 billion corporation at that time and you need someone to carry your mantle to be your champion, to be the face of your company, John Cena was the choice at that point. And you know what? he proved it. He backed up. He made them seem as though the choice that they made was correct. And look, it was.
Yeah.
It was. And look, we all maybe had a little Cena fatigue at the end with the Super Cena stuff. But the fact of the matter is merchandise sales, Make-A-Wish, the talk shows, everything that goes into what they want as a face of this billion-dollar company, he provided, and he knocked it out the park. And you got to give him respect for that. And
it's really brave of WWE to make an invisible man the face of their company.
I couldn't see him half the time, which was the other problem. I'm like, why is Edge wrestling himself? But then how's he getting pinned? But it was Cena.
I want to see Edge wrestle himself. All right.
What do you got for number 2, Shane?
My number 2. Now, this one, probably early in my life as a wrestling fan, this was probably the most stressful angle of my life. But later on, I found out that I got shortchanged a little bit because of, some personal reasons. But what if we had all the major WCW and ECW players for that alliance angle?
Man, that was one of my ideas too.
Oh, dude.
If they had the heavy hitters, like
the heavy hitters in that, it would have, they would have still be getting paid off of it. Like it to think of it now,
the missed opportunity.
Yes, of course. And there was a lot going on during those wars.
Time Warner contracts was the big thing. They were paying guys hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to basically stay at home if you felt like it. And very few guys, shout out to Booker T. Five time, actually 6. Booker T is the only guy who's gives himself less championships than he actually won.
He's gracious, bro. He's gracious. King. He's King Booker,
He's one
of
the few guys who was just like, I'm going to keep working. I'm going to make my way over here. I'm going to make a name for myself. But I think about that all the time. I used to wish that maybe WCW had stayed separate and they could have run them as 2 different companies. But yeah, you got a great point there.
Dude, that just to be able to see, I mean, what would that last match be? If we could have Sting, we could have Goldberg, we could have DDP.
Yep.
Who would we have for ECW? Yeah, RVD at the end of it. Just the Triple H not getting his quad tore off the bone and him being able to be in it. Just if we could have got the full magnitude of that alliance angle, it would have been the greatest story in the history of the business.
And you're right. And like I said, that also made a list. I had to cut it down. And for some reason, I thought you might go with that because we didn't share our list. But yeah, I think that's overall, that might be the biggest missed opportunity maybe in the history of wrestling. The fact that I just wish it could have been different. I think every wrestling fan wishes it could have been different because the potential to have something otherworldly was there, man.
Yeah, it's like a layup and dunk are both worth 2 points, but you want that dunk.
You want the dunk, right?
You want the dunk.
All right, so I'm going back. You mentioned Triple H, right?
Yeah.
And he has a little bit to do with my number 2. And that is, what if the curtain call never happens?
Oh, man.
So
I thought you were about to say something else. I was about to get
back
mad.
in the day, I believe it was 1996, if I'm not mistaken, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall decide that they're going to leave WWE. After a steel cage match between Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash, Scott Hall and Triple H come to the ring inside the cage. Basically, there's not a lot of footage of this. We have like one fan video who snuck a video camera into Madison Square Garden who recorded this. Really the only shot that I've ever seen from it. I've seen still pictures, never seen another video. They all hug, they embrace. It was a way for the clique to say goodbye to each other. Vince apparently said it was okay, and then the backlash that he got from all the boys in the back saying, you killed kayfabe, you exposed the business, someone had to pay. Someone had to pay for this. Hall and Nash are leaving the WCW. Shawn Michaels was the man. He was untouchable. He was Teflon. That brought the heat down on Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who wasn't Triple H yet, by the way. So I can remember going to Pittsburgh Civic Arena and watching WWF at the time, WWE, and wondering why Savio Vega was beating Hunter Hearst Helmsley every time they wrestled. Like he went on a streak where he was losing every single match. And then you get older, you realize what was happening at that time. Back then, we didn't really have the internet like we do now. So we didn't know why this was going on. You just saw this guy's just losing to everyone. And then you find out what happens. Now, the bigger repercussions and ramifications of this is Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, was scheduled to win King of the Ring.
King of the Ring.
That got scrapped. So you know who did win King of the Ring? Stone Cold Steve Austin. That changed the wrestling business. That changed life. All right. They didn't just change wrestling. That changed everything.
Food tasted better. Colors were brighter.
Everything. But my thing about that, O'Shea, is this. If Triple H doesn't get punished, he wins King of the Ring. You don't get the Austin 316 promo.
Yeah.
One of the greatest promos, the greatest T-shirts in the history of the world. Now, does Steve Austin still become a star? I still believe he does, because I feel like he and Bret Hart still will have a program. I feel he still has the, he can call him the Hitman. I don't know if we can curse on this. He can call him the man. If you remember that promo. And then you still have the, oh my God, Brian Pillman's got a gun. Right? If you can remember that, when the former Hollywood Blondes in WCW got together. So I feel Steve Austin is still going to become a star, but you're not going to get Austin 316.
Which is huge.
Hopefully you still get, and that's the bottom line, but I don't think Austin 316 happens because it happens because he wrestled Jake the Snake. Robert, so you don't get that.
Is that the most famous shirt in wrestling history?
I would have to say so, yeah.
Right? You don't get the most famous piece of merch.
Ever. You get your biggest star ever, but he has to take a different path. And Triple H, obviously, he overcame. And what I understand is because he ate that poop sandwich and he did it because he knew it was coming, he earned the respect of all the boys, all the people in the back. And that probably also changed the trajectory of his career. He didn't complain. He just did what he had to do. He took that crap, and look what happened, man.
Yeah, he honestly, both characters I think would have to be. I mean, Austin, he wouldn't be too different, but if you think, when he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, him winning King of the Ring, that's getting milked a little bit longer than
the Connecticut Blue Blood. You're going to get the
you're getting all that for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
It definitely, things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Things happen for a reason, but it's crazy to think.
Had that moment not happened, could have changed everything.
So
what's your number one?
My number one, I feel like somebody through the screen or wherever you're listening is thinking it's got to be Screwjob.
Oh, yeah.
If that just went the right way, what if the Screwjob didn't happen? Now, there's a couple of ways to play that. It's whether, because obviously we know about the contract talk with Bret and Vince.
Vince offered Bret, I believe, like a $20 million contract and then decided that he couldn't pay it. So he said, hey, you can go if you want.
You took it back.
Took
it back. Yeah. And then Shawn ended up retiring anyway, so we could go that route, or if he still goes to WCW and the screw job doesn't happen. Because remember, Bret said that him and Shawn had a conversation. Hey, Survivor Series is going to be in Montreal. If they want me to give you the title, I have no problem with that. I've always been a company guy.
Yeah.
And then Shawn goes, I appreciate that. I would have not done the same thing for you.
And
that's what set Bret off. Where I can't give this guy the belt. Now, if that goes another way and Bret goes on to WCW, things are all good. There might be a world where I got Bret in that alliance thing I was just talking about.
About that.
Can you imagine
now Bret Hart's leading the alliance coming back?
Oh my God.
To seek revenge on this company that did him dirty.
It just goes back to that alliance thing with me. I know, but it's just so many implications. It was such a domino effect that if the screw job didn't happen, we might not even get the character Mr. McMahon until further down the road, because it was because of him saying, Bret screwed Bret, that natural hate came for him. And so when I think about a moment that changed the landscape, and if it was flipped another way, it's got to be the screw job at number one, man.
I agree with you. And like you said, I think the Mr. McMahon character was going to come. Eventually, it just came quicker.
Yeah.
But there are more implications than just that, bro, because let's just say Vince doesn't give Bret the money and then takes it back and Brett leaves. Let's just say Brett stays. You have to assume that maybe Brett, the tragedy with Owen doesn't happen because Brett's always said he would have talked him out of going up to do the Blue Blazers son. So you don't have that happen. Also, here's something that just popped into my mind. Starrcade 97, they had the whole buildup of Sting coming back to wrestle Hulk Hogan. They had the wonky finish at the end where Nick Patrick was supposed to fast count. Apparently Hogan told him don't fast count. So it was a regular count.
Yeah.
He wins, and then Bret Hart comes out, and his big kind of welcome to WCW has them restart the match and then does another pin. I can just remember everyone being so disappointed in the end. And I feel maybe we don't have that. Maybe they're not trying to compensate for having Bret Hart. Maybe that ending of that Sting Hogan match is a little bit different. That goes down in history differently. So the screw job has many different layers.
Such a big domino.
Yeah, and many things could have turned. And I guess we'll end this with my number one. I'm gonna go back in time to 1984. Actually, to 1983. Hulk Hogan was wrestling in the AWA, the American Wrestling Association. And he was supposed to beat Nick Bockwinkel for the world title. We all thought so, but Vern Gagne was hesitant to put the championship on Hogan. So Hogan goes to WWF. In between that, there was a lot of things. Hogan did the Rocky movie. He was with WWF. Vince Sr. told him not to do it or he'd be fired. He did it anyway. Great move, by the way. Thunderlips was classic character. He goes to the AWA. Vern, hesitant to make him his top guy. He goes back to WWF. Now, my what if is this. The Iron Sheik beat Bob Backlund for the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship in 1983 at the end of the year. He's set to wrestle Hulk Hogan in January of 84. The story is Vern Gagne offered the Iron Sheik a considerable amount of money to not lose to Hulk Hogan and even go as far as to break Hogan's leg and bring the WWF title to AWA. The Iron Sheik being the guy he was who who did respectable business, told Vince Sr. what was going to happen, or actually it was Vince Jr., I guess, one of the two Vinces, and told them what was offered to him and basically said, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to put the jabroni Hulk Hogan over.
Yes.
And he did business the right way. But you always got to think, what happens if the Iron Sheik decides to take that money, break Hulk Hogan's leg? The history of wrestling is different. You don't get Rock and Wrestling. Maybe they push Hulkamania back a year because I think that was going to be the plan. Do you get another Bob Backlund title run? Does someone like Roddy Piper or Paul, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff, do they get a little run with the title before Hulkamania actually starts? Does the Rock and Wrestling connection with Cyndi Lauper, does that happen? Does WrestleMania with Mr. T happen? All these things could have changed the history of professional wrestling if the Iron Sheik had decided to, not follow the script, so to say.
God bless him.
And break Hulk Hogan's leg, and he didn't. And, now we are where we are now.
I thought you were going to ask if Hulk didn't go to the WWF.
But like I said, there are so many. We can do these for days. Because I was going to be like, man, everybody gets championships. What do you mean? Right. I get more macho. I get Roddy. I get, whatever. I'll get on my Hulk Hogan tirade another day. But solid what if. If you guys like to see more lists, guys, all we do is talking hypotheticals. Right.
Like all day. Every dude watching this knows that they've talked in hypotheticals for 70% of their life. So we would love to do lists. Comment any type of list that you would like to see us break down.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram, No Contest Wrestling Podcast. On Twitter, there's no contest. Follow us on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page.
Yes, if you want to see us.
And also, when these clips hit social media, I can't wait to hear you guys' what ifs. Let us know some of the moments that you think could have changed the history of wrestling forever. I'm interested to hear it.
Now, I will give an honorable mention. What if AEW kept Cody and CM Punk?
Man, I think we might need another show to really deep dive that because that's a longer discussion than we have time for right now.
Speaking of AEW, we got part 2 of Swerve. Part 2 of Swerve is about to drop right now. I know you guys love our Yap Fest. The people who do stay tuned, we appreciate y'all. We got a show to run.
You people who go on the YouTube comments and say skip to the 16-minute mark. Why you want to listen to these guys yap? It's a podcast, baby. We're supposed to yap.
What you want, Don? Make sure you bleep this. right. So anyway, this is part 2 of Swerve. We're so grateful for Swerve to giving us his time. Obviously, he had to be breaking up into 2 parts. And we promise you guys, this is not how the show is going to be. This is just what happens when you get 2 fans to talk to some of their favorite wrestlers. It goes a long time. But we're knocking it down. We got some great guests lined up, some people that gave us the green light for the show. So we got some heavy hitters on the way.
We got some great guys who have been DMing us, emailing us, representatives of these people, the wrestlers themselves who are saying, hey, I want to come on. So the future's looking bright, and I'm excited for what we got coming on here.
Yeah, well, hate it or love it, it's no contest, bro. I want to talk about the house call because, there's a lot of moves where, a slam, you can kind of measure it a little bit more than a striking kind of finish. So, I need to know who, if they stick out in your mind, really ate one where you were like
a bad one.
My bad. We'll talk about that later.
I got a couple people
where it's like
really was like Kyle Fletcher took a nasty one. His head was like a car accident, like clack. It was like bad. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Welcome.
People might not know the house call is a move where your opponent's kind of prone and you run and you jump up and you kind of give them
it's a half calf like savate kick.
Savate kick.
Below.
Yeah,
it's
right to the dome, like
kicking him in the head.
Yeah, Miz made fun of me for that. He was like, putting his match together in the locker room. He's like, yeah, I was thinking like maybe like if you're down on one knee, like talking to somebody else, I'm just overhearing. He was like I run in and like just kick the hell out of your head, but I bring it from over here and I like just go across and then just like knock your head clean off. He's like, sorry, Swerve, but Aiden English is the one that came up with the name of it.
Oh, that's a good name.
Yeah, he was like on commentary. He was doing 205, and he was excellent at what he was doing. He was like because the crowd goes Swerve's house. Figure, what if you made a house call as that move you do?
Yeah.
I was like, I love that. If you want to, he's like, I'm gonna put that in commentary, and then I just ran with it ever since then. So shout out him. I originally saw it because like Johnny Gargano, we were on Evolve and Dragon Gate USA shows. And he would always like snapmare the guy down and hold a kick. And would just like drop it real quick. And I was like, oh. Yeah. And I looked at it, I was like, what if I like held that a little longer? And I would that's why I always tell people like, copy what you see, copy what you like.
I don't,
just copy. Like for the first couple years, just copy, copy a little bit. And then eventually you'll grow out of it and you'll make something new out of copying somebody. And then you'll be original. Like when I first met Will Ospreay, he copied every freaking move we did. He literally stole every move like we did. Me, Fox, Ricochet, Leo, like Seidel, AJ Styles. He stole all of our shit. But I was like, I love this kid though. Because he's so good. And he made it look better.
On the recipes.
He made it look better, but then he started like coming into his own and really adding like, because like Andrade was doing like backflip, boom, land, moves on again. Yeah. But he started doing like backflip, boom, shooting star, boom, front roll, jump, full, boom. I was like, he made that look so much better because he copied it originally. Just like, so he started finding his own within the copying. So like, I copied Johnny Gargano. Love you, Johnny. Love you, Candace. And he did it like just real quick. I was like, let me jump and arch it a little bit because I can hold it. Yeah. And it was also, I stuck with it because Will said like, I tried to do that move and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Listen, bro.
I don't know what it is. Listen, like, I can't hold it. I can't do it, bro. It's impossible. I can't do it. I'm like, something you can't do?
Yeah. That's mine. Keeping that tight.
Yeah. I'm like, so stay away from it. So, but yeah, so like that's where it literally came up. And then like, funny story. So, I don't think I ever told this on air. So
we love that.
Yeah, man, it's great. No contest wrestling.
So
I'll let your boys.
Oh, I'm gonna upset somebody, but I don't care.
Let me get my water ready.
So when I first started doing it in NXT or whatever, I would like hit it, but some people would like duck, and so therefore it would like go. And Triple H was like, just don't use that as a finish. I like it, but just don't use it as a finish. I'm like. And then Sean would agree with him, like, yeah, it's not a finish. Like, sometimes it hits, sometimes not. Because people are ducking from it. If you duck from it, I'm like, of course I'm going to miss anything. And, like, you of all people, Sean, you do a super kick.
Yeah, right.
He's like, it's not a finish. So I struggle finding a new finished for a while in NXT, and then Finn came back, so I couldn't do the swerve stomp.
Yeah.
So I was like, for a year, I was just like, so I came up with. I'm a big fan of Naruki Doi, so he does the Naruki driver, but originally, shout out to SATs, the Storm Cradle driver is the original move for it. But so I came up, I saw that, I was like, I was using it on Leon Ruff, so I can hit that. But then Bronson Reed came up, I'm like, ooh, how do I do this? So it came time to win the North American title, and this is like a year apart, and like Bronson's the North American champion, and then like they're like Sean was like, yeah, we were coming up with last night the you guys, we were coming up with the creative for last night. Could you do that kick for the finish? I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. You got to be kidding me. No,
just let me cook.
Like, and I had to be like, yeah, I can do it. So I had to circle a whole year later of like Sean, like, now you can do what you want. So, but yeah, so that's why the match ends with house call, boom, 450 to the back win. That, but yeah, that's the little story.
That's hard, dude. Well, now I gotta look up Kyle Fletcher getting his head kicked.
Right?
Though.
Yeah.
I'm looking for that, bro.
It was my first match after the title one.
I gotta see that.
That man, like, ear touch shoulder, my brother.
Oh man! After that, it's like, yeah, we gotta talk. we gonna have to talk about this one.
Yeah, love Kyle, but he murdered me in that match. I was like, ooh, he throws hammers.
Yeah, that dude moves quick.
He's quick and he's like effective. He goes through you.
Yeah,
he's brutal.
Big dude too.
But yeah, 25, 24 years old. I'm looking forward to it.
That's too much youth. Get me out here trying to kill me.
I'm like, bro, say that for Will. Like, I'm getting old, man. But like, I look forward to like, man, there's so many young guys on this roster. I look forward to seeing like 5 years, 10 years from now. Like Nick Wayne's in there too, Washington boy. Look forward.
Another guy you just did dirty was Nick
Right.
Wayne. You had to
let him know
what time it was.
I'm creating his origin story.
That's what I'm saying. You had to let him know what time it was.
I'm creating his origin story. He's lucky I didn't Bruce Wayne him because he's going to become Batman one day.
You believe that? He's that good?
Yeah, you got to give these kids some pain. These kids are coming in too easy. I'm like, I love Javon Evans. Shout out to you. I want to see some pain from you, bro. I want to see some pain. I'm like Javon, extremely talented. One of the greatest things I've ever heard in my like career, still to this day. Like when I was on my 90 days between WWE and AEW, I was doing seminars and I went up to Carolina and Javon was like 16, 17 years old and there was like 20 kids. And I asked like, everybody like, hey, who you are? How old are you? What got you into wrestling? And what do you want to do? And, go around the room and I go to Javon and like, you could tell he's Jay Malachi, you could tell he's like the standout of the class. You could just instantly see it. Yeah. And everybody looks at him like, yeah, go tell him. He's like, honestly, I got into wrestling from watching you versus Leo Rush at Defy. I was like, wow, am I that far removed at this time? So it was like, I'm
Unk.
So yeah. And so I'm in Tampa. This is like earlier this year. I'm in Tampa. This is June. I'm in Tampa, like at 21 Savage invited me to the show. And I'm watching, and then like Javon Evans walked by. He's 6'4" now. I'm like, God damn, boy. Yeah.
He's that tall.
He's like 6'3", 6'4", man. He's going to grow up to like 6'5". Wow. Yeah, he's a specimen, and he's like humble, super humble kid. Love him to death. I watch just to root for him, and like shout out him. He just wrestled Randy Orton, killed it. AEW Dynamite's doing this thing, but man, like there's still people I have sentimental value in. Like Javon, I'm going to root for him no matter what he does, wherever he goes.
What about, I want to ask you about, wrestlers have these stories about life on the road.
Yeah.
Share with us some of your stories, some of the guys you made these towns with, some of the guys maybe do you still travel with some of them?
I see them in the locker room every week. Yeah. like Tony Nese was like one of my first guys I got in the road with, like this is like almost 10 years ago. I got on the road with he would like drive from New York, pick me up from Pennsylvania, and then go to Pittsburgh, which was another 4 hours for shows. And he didn't have to do that. He knew I was like, didn't have a lot of money for gas, but he would like him, John Silver, Alex Reynolds would be in the car sometimes. Sometimes Rex Lawless would come in there. And they would like do that route, boom, pick me up and then go this way. So this funny story, we do after the show because you don't stay a hotel the night. You drive right back after the show's done. Some of them shows don't end until like 11:30 at night.
So you probably drove through Altoona, Pennsylvania. That's where I'm from.
Oh yeah. You
had to have driven through Altoona.
We went like the Carlisle area, like yeah, we went like that area, you know, PA area,
Pennsylvania talk, you know.
Yeah, Shippensburg area. We went past that too.
Way. Okay,
yeah. So, driving 4 hours, dropped me off at the house at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and then I was getting my bags out, getting the car, getting the house, whatever. They take off, they're gone. I look back, me and Tony both had blue bags. I got Tony's bag. He's an hour up the road. I was like, dude, I got your bag, man. He's like, oh, I got a show tomorrow too. He had to drive an hour all the way back. Switch bags. He drive all the way back up to New York. He got home at like 8 in the morning. I was like, man, he tells that story every time.
That's rough.
But he's like, those are my guys, man. I got in the car with
you and Darby
Tony.
Shared some time.
Yeah, those are Evolve days. Yeah, like by that time we were like on planes a little bit more. Okay. But sometimes we were like still like getting like a New York to Connecticut. Okay. And we just drive together, or Riddle was in there a little bit.
What are those road trips like? Just talking about the business life? Or were you
those are the times we want to escape and not talk about the business at all.
That was my other question. I hear some guys wanted, that's all they want to do. Like Trip said, like the Click, they would only talk about the business. Yeah. I'd assume some people you might want to get away from it.
We got away from it. We wanted to laugh. We wanted to just tell like little stories and stuff like that. I remember me and MJF, we did a Ohio show. We had to do CCW the next day. So MJF had the car. He drove and he did the whole 8 hours. No switching or nothing. Oh, wow. All through the night.
That's a trooper.
Yep. And we got our hotel room just to get some sleep before the show. He never complained. He was like, no, I'm going to do an 18-year-old MJF. So MJF always has my respect in that way.
Man,
I had to bet him on that one. Because like he was getting a lot of traction and stuff. I was like, all right, hold up, young boy. You got to pay your due a little bit, though.
A question that, we want to start asking everybody here. The situation is you at a bar. Ooh, 50 dudes.
I think 50 is a lot. I was thinking that was
that's a lot. That's a lot,
that's
bro.
That's a lot.
On a bar.
Maybe like 20.
Listen, that's 10 apiece.
That's like 81% drunk. Like that's
all right. But you're at a bar. There's a large number of people there.
There's a grip of cats
that don't want you in there. Yeah. You need to pick 4 other wrestlers that if these guys are with me, we get into the car.
Ooh, okay.
Help you, and they don't like you because of they just don't like you because you're a
wrestler.
Like,
why don't they like me?
There's a difference.
Are we in Arkansas? Are we
in West Memphis, Tennessee? By chance?
Are we in
Let's just say we're in Los Angeles, where it's all kind of.
And we keeping it current wrestlers, current, not all time, because all time those.
So you and crazy. 4 others to get out of a bar.
I'm bringing Kingston.
Oh yeah,
okay. Kingston.
Shout out Eddie Kingston.
Kingston, he dirty. He fight dirty.
Yeah,
I like that.
Well, Eddie's gonna have the Timbs on. He's gonna stomp somebody in the ribs with the Timbs. So,
I need somebody who's gonna move the crowd, move the people. So Samoa Joe.
Man, that's Joe. You done made it twice.
Like you look at Joe wrong, you just know that you lost already. That's how it is.
So about Eddie Kingston, Samoa Joe.
Eddie Kingston, Samoa Joe.
You, and so now 2 more people.
I need 2 more people. I got my big guy, and I need a wing. Who's gonna come around side? Like, I need a quick body. Like Darby gonna throw his body at somebody. He's gonna jump off the bar on somebody. He's gonna hit. And
Darby wearing them thick boots too. You don't want to get kicked with them.
Like Darby's scrappy. You can't hurt a Darby.
Yeah,
that's by the way, Darby.
The
most frightening person in the world to fight is the guy who just don't feel pain. It's going to keep coming at you.
Hit me.
So you going with Darby? You putting Darby in there?
Yep.
So we got Eddie Kingston.
He's my crazy white boy. I need
Samoa Joe, you, Darby Allin.
Man, shout out Jake Hager.
Okay, that would make sense.
Shout out Jake Hager.
All-American wrestler.
He got reach too.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Jake, man.
This got to be a scene in something. We gotta record this.
I like that. I mean, I hope it
That's
doesn't happen.
Roadhouse. That looked like a good setting for Roadhouse. Those are my guys.
That's what's up. Let's hope it doesn't happen. But if it does, I'd like your shot.
That's a solid team. Joe on 2 lists, bro.
Joe.
Samoa Joe don't play.
Well, speaking of Samoa Joe, April 21st, AEW Dynamite.
History, man.
You defeat Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship. And in doing so, you become just the 8th black wrestler of a major promotion to become World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes.
I know this wasn't lost on you. And for people who don't know, let's just go down the list. We had Ron Simmons, The Rock, Mark Henry, Booker T. That was out of order, but they still did it.
No, absolutely.
Kofi Kingston, Bobby Lashley, Big E, Swerve Strickland. I also want to give respect to Moose, Rich Swann, who did it in TNA. R-Truth, Ron Killings, NWA Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
Jonathan Gresham, Jay Lethal,
ROH.
also ROH. But of the major organizations, which I guess there are 2, you became number 8. What was that feeling like? And did you feel any pressure? Did you feel like
as
you
a main
had
event,
to make this work? Because if your title reign doesn't work, then that might hurt the next man up. It's like you. So what were you feeling at that moment? Because the fans really, we talked about this. The fans really got to a point where it was just like we knew.
Yeah.
Okay, the next champ is Swerve. This is a given. We've already decided. Now, Tony, you just got to listen.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work. In your case, it worked.
I was relentless with it. I didn't want to necessarily push Tony for it because that's not how I work. I didn't want to do the political game. I was like, my work is always going to have to speak for me. Always. I have to get better in promos. And then also, not getting better in promos, it doesn't mean just you just talk like a wrestler. I got to find my voice too.
Yeah.
I can't sound like MJF. I can't sound like Christian. I can't sound like Copeland. I can't sound like Kingston. I can't sound like these other guys that are already doing their thing with it. I gotta find what Swerve would sound like, and that's what's going to carry the title reign after that. If I focus on this now, that's what's going to help carry into whatever feud, whatever people I go after or come after me. You know what I mean? So I had to level up there. I had to level up on my body. I had to be responsible, being there on time, being there early, leaving late. I had to be the one that's you always see Swerve somehow. I had to do the work outside of the ring, outside of the arena, and put me on press. I want to do media. I want to do this. I want to dress the part. I want to promote. I wanted to just be the most well-rounded champion, not he's the best black champion. No, I wanted to be a well-rounded champion, period. So I had to do a little bit more of this, finding out, learning the business and earning my keep and talking great about the company, which is not just PR stuff. It's how I genuinely feel, but I'm also going to say it in a way that I see it. My vision of it. Are we perfect? Absolutely not. No place is perfect. But these are the reasons why this place means something to me and should mean something to the fans that either aren't fans or the fans that are fans appreciate what we have and where we're going. And what I want to bring you on that ride and educate and bring people with me into the product. And I want to be the face of why you tuned in and why you stay. So all those things I wanted to just before he gets to just the wrestling, that has to be all taken care of. Now I'm given the ball. Boom. Like I said, I'm very patient. I know it's always going to go up. A lot of people were frustrated and wanted to see this. They're not getting this. Why are they treating this? I'm like, good. That means you care.
Yeah.
I'd rather you voice your concerns and your displeasures rather than just
oh well,
right. Yeah, no, you care, you want to see it, therefore you're going to keep watching to see if it does eventually happen. And that's what did happen. The title reign did nothing but go up, which I said was going to happen on Busted Open Radio. I said it was don't worry, we're going to keep rising. It only gets better and it's going to get better again. it's going to get better again. Then you're going like I think I'm the only world champion to be on Dynamite, Collision, Rampage all in the same week. I'm the only one to ever do that. You know, like then it was about finding out like what history can I make with it? What really is like untapped that I haven't done? Let me do some things. Let me go out, take the championship, like make a music video with it with Bun B.
Right.
You ain't seen the AEW World Title on no music video.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I'll do it with legends. Like, you know, it's not like in some backyard or like on the phone. No, I want to make it right. I want to do as much with it as I can and put this championship in a different light that only I can do it. So there was that. That was the challenges. The matches are like, okay, me and Ospreay next up. I know this boy from like 10 years ago.
Great match.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm going to always put Will in a different element because we know what Will can do. We've seen it for a while.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna put you in my world now. I'm going to fight you.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to hurt you. And like I said, this championship means more than our friendship. This championship, like Will is on another level, but Swerve is a different level.
Yeah. Different ball game.
And I wanted to show the world, like, well, you want, like, this is the face of the company. This is the guy. I'm like, I agree. He is incredible. But in my world, there's still a ways you got to go. And that's why I wanted to showcase with Will. And he did that. We have amazing chemistry. It's never left, never gone anywhere. It told a different story. That took the title, like, okay, all right, there is another height to this. You know, because Will's been amazing having great matches, but he never main evented till he faced me. So that goes to show the prestige is up here. So great as you are, you're still another platform you got to jump to.
There's levels to this.
It is.
There's levels.
It is. And we did that. We accomplished that well. And now you want to see Will's journey to get back there. So I created his story arc too through mine. Then, you know, like I had to go through a little lull with Christian. I had to lose some things as a champion. You have to lose a little bit too. So I lost the Mogul Embassy. They turned on me. I used them to get to my success, and I left them behind. You know, even though I got them wrestling Kenny Omega and Jericho, I got them wrestling the Bucks for title matches twice, and Hangman. I got them on the main roster, like on AEW, doing some things, but they still felt like they were slighted. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna take you all out in one segment on Collision. And I'll save Brian Cage for last. But then Nick Wayne has to get his revenge back on me too, because I wronged him. Okay, little man, you think you ready?
Let me show you.
Let's go. And then I came back in the fold. So it was like a little curving story arcs right there. And I think that's another way we took the championship in another direction. It's like, let me fight from under, because Christian, he's 50 years old and veteran. He's not the nasty, brute, beat you down guy. He's going to be smart and use all these other tricks around me. And I got the
6'6" dragon. You got
I got to slay eventually. But on top of all that, I still got the EVPs moving things around, you know, playing the political game with me, you know. So we stacked the deck against me, and I don't think we've seen that with a champion for a while. But then I learned, and then I grew, and then I got aggressive. Now I'm the one, like, in the driver's seat going forward. Now I'm the one making history at Wembley. Now I'm, like, on the street now.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of, like, putting, like, I'm really proud of, like, putting that championship in just a different light. That it was a short time, but it was impactful.
Yeah.
It was quick. It was wow, but it hit.
Yeah.
Like those matches, those championship matches are going to be, like, talked about in the history for a while. And I said on the Breakfast Club, like Doug Williams on that Evolution of the Black Quarterback, he said, if you write the history book of the NFL, but in my case with AEW, can they leave you out of it? They can't now. Yeah. That's the impact. That's the legacy. You can't leave me out of the history of this company anymore. Like, and now with, like, the new contract I signed, you can't leave me out of the history of wrestling.
Yeah.
Which, that's where that championship went to.
The transitions are crazy.
It's almost like it's like you know what we're going to ask you before we ask.
Right, because right now Swerve Strickland is spelled with $signs.
Yeah.
How does it feel How does it feel to?
And can we hold something?
I just want some shoes.
You gonna talk to Rich? Rich had this money well before I did.
Yeah, he in London. He don't be picking up.
Yeah,
but,
he's in London right now calling NFL games.
Just going from the lunch table conversations.
Yeah.
You know, life at the cul-de-sac to where you are now signing this contract, this history making contract. I know just from talking to you now, you always got the hunger for what's next, but just tell me what this feels like right now.
This feels like it feels like
security.
Well, that besides like the physical, like just like the things, like it feels honestly like I wasn't afraid to leave the lunch table. I'm the one that got up and said, I'm going to do it. And that's honestly what all this is really about. Don't be afraid to be the one to get up and do it.
Yeah.
Somebody has to. Like, there's one thing like Terry Taylor used to say. He's like, somebody in this room is going to change the business. Why not you?
Right.
And I remember texting him that like recently after I said, I remember you said to our class when we were watching tape one day, somebody's going to change the business in this room. Why can't it be you? And I challenged you on that. I took you up on that without even telling you. I took you up on that. I just didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't even have a plan in mind. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I had every intent in my mind to change the business and leave my mark in it somewhere, somehow. And for people that want to like say it's not enough, it's like he didn't do this, he didn't follow up with that. There's like, of course, there's still always going to be more to do, always. But what I've done now up to this point, if I like passed tomorrow, hope God I don't, like I'd be more than happy and satisfied with it. You know, like I'm not thinking too much about the next too much, but I do have plans and I do have seeds planted that are really starting to grow quicker. Yeah. And I'm really going to like, okay, this is going to be challenging to like water all these different plots at the same time because they're growing quicker than I thought. Now I got to adapt and move forward. But the best part I feel about this now, what I really am proud of and what I'm really happy about with the now and the contract, for 15 years, I've been adapting and moving around and watching how the business kind of takes shape and form. And then I got to sit and then like find my way in it and like sit and find my way in it, find where I belong in the room. Now it's going to start maneuvering around me.
Okay.
And that's the position I always wanted to be in. Like now, like things are starting to part and move around for Swerve now. And that's another type of mental I got to learn to put myself in now. Like I don't got to like move out of the way for everybody now. Now it's like kind of moving out of the way for me. Yeah. I was like, oh, wow.
You turned into ludicrous.
You know?
Get out the way.
Yeah.
Turn into ludicrous.
It's like, now like certain things are just like starting to move like, wow, that was easy. Like, you mean things don't got to be that hard anymore? Like, no, they don't. Because you have 15 years of working hard. You have 15 years behind all that. Now things are just like, oh, yeah, sure. Like, you mean you don't need to see? No, we got you. Because they've seen it. Like, they've seen my work. And I had to earn the equity for that, too. I had to earn that. I had to, like, show that I can do your job before I can do mine. I got to show, like, I could do what you ask of me. Like, instead of me just coming in like, I want this, I want this, I want this. And I was like, no, how can I make your job easier? How can I make your tasks for the day simple and you don't got to worry about my part of my job? You never it's like as a quarterback, you don't got to worry about the left side. That's blocked.
Right.
Like I just got to focus on getting this. But that he ain't touching me. Like they're showing blitz on the weak side. Like, yeah. I got a homie over there on the left tackle.
Secure.
Secured. Like, you don't got to worry about that. And that makes everybody's job so much simpler when you don't got to worry about the next person, when you can come in and make the day easy. That's someone you always want to keep around. And like, that's someone you always going to like that. Like I said on Breakfast Club, it was like, that's someone like when you got someone so good at their job you'll pay extra for it.
Yeah.
You got someone that's like, no matter, like, hey, you call them, they show up, and the job's done, and it's not taking all day, and it's like done the right way, you will pay extra for that.
Absolutely.
I miss you, Aaron Donald.
My God, I got his jersey on my wall. I paid for the auction and I won.
Yeah,
and I got it on the wall,
That's
signed by Aaron Donald. I met him
bad
too
man,
after he
too.
won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, that's bro. What a man good
what a
at his
beast!
job.
What a beast!
Well, dude,
Like I said, you don't got to worry about the middle.
Yeah, no.
you good.
Before we get going, let's talk about the music, man, because I know that's
yeah.
such a big part of what you got going on.
Man.
You and Flash Garments. Of course, we talked about the song, how it's a hit. I'd be
Yeah,
sitting here.
Flash wrote
singing.
that thing, man.
By the way, you don't even understand. When we're on the big show, the Rich Eisen show, every now and then we'll be talking Rams, and Rich will say to Brockman and Mike, who you met, who'll be like, "Whose house?" They're Rams ticket holders. They're always going Rams house. Take one guess what I say every time.
Yep. I had
Whose house?
I
Swerve's
have
house.
it dated whose house Swerve's house came before the Rams even got to LA.
Listen, man.
I have that dated.
I remember I
have
saw
the
a
show.
video-
I can pull it up.
I saw a video of you on Instagram where you were at a Rams
Yeah,
game
they
and
hit
they were
the
playing
Who's
Who's
House.
house, and you were just sitting there like,
You disgust me.
Right.
It's
Whispering under your breath.
Are we pandering right now?
yeah,
Do y'all know that I'm here?
but the music, man.
And Who Kid was there too. He was there with a gunner. He was there with Gunner. I saw him. He popped up on the screen. I was like, "Why are you here? I want to meet Gunner. Bring me back there." That was the day after Texas Deathmatch, actually.
Oh,
Oh my God, you just go to events
Right.
after destroying
Something
your
about
body.
LA that brings out the nasty.
Yep.
Side
That
of
sounds
me.
about right.
Hey,
That sounds about right, LA.
it's full gear. You and Hangman, like,
Yeah.
that was.
That's still my favorite.
Yeah.
pay-per-view,
There was
bro.
blood. One man drank another man's blood in that match, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know why I
that's-
did that. That was crazy.
Right, dude. Come on, we didn't talk about it.
I'm like, why are you doing this right now? Because like people ask like, why did the syringe go in the mouth? Why did you drink my blood? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was there.
But
It's a
like
wild
those
boy.
are staples, and those are images that's going to carry for a very
Forever,
long
yeah.
time. Yeah. But I don't even know what the question
No,
was.
about the music.
Oh, the music. Oh,
What you got going
shout
on?
out
in the-
Flash Garments, man. Like I said, this man is like daily changing my life. Even when I'm not there, he's maneuvering things to make the team work. And we look at it as a team. We actually have a documentary with the Lucas brothers, the Oscar-winning Lucas brothers, that we've been shooting since December, since World's End.
Okay.
And we have so much footage. We had, like, they were there shooting Wembley, so they caught that. They shot the night after. They shot the night of and the night after the event in Dynasty, me winning the championship. So you get in the documentary, you get to see me and my kids
Oh, that's
in St. Louis, which they surprised me. My attorney Tony Risha, my manager, they surprised me. He got my kids.
okay. Tony
flown.
Rich, I saw you give him a shout out when you signed the contract.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah,
who's this?
yeah. So he's the one that flew my kids out with the mother of my kids. Flew them out as a surprise. I didn't even know they were there.
Oh,
so you get to
yeah.
see that in the documentary.
wow. Okay.
So I got to celebrate my kids that night. It was an amazing feeling. Jericho was in there, like surprised. He knew about it the whole time, didn't tell me. So Jericho was one of the
Jericho's always in the know.
always. He's like, oh, what's going around St. Louis tonight? But he so you get to see that in the documentary. You get to see a lot of the pain of putting this stuff together, like Flash, like the stuff he has to go through, the music side too. And this week we end up like meeting with Warner Brothers and pitching it, and things are looking very, very good.
That's what's up.
And like when you got like award winners, like the Lucas brothers,
Yeah.
like that name holds a lot of weight in the
Right.
rooms. And he was like, I've done a lot of pitch meetings in Hollywood. This never goes this good. This
Okay.
never goes this smooth. And so that's why I say like things are just like opening up now. All of a
Right.
sudden on this other end, I'm like,
Crazy, right?
Well, you mean we don't gotta? Oh no. Well, how do you? We'll set up another meeting with
The
someone.
iron is hot.
Right.
The iron is
happen
hot.
when you
Yeah.
become world heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
dude.
little different. The treatment is different, and like I said, it goes beyond wrestling in a lot of ways. It's like, and so like pitching that story, telling that story. It was still more to shoot, but it's really unfolding in a beautiful way. Music. I just got in the studio with Eric Bellinger a couple nights ago. Like super hit writer, super hit R&B singer. Working with him, learning from him. Guys have done everything in the industry. I'm slowly but surely connected with like a Big Sean, an inspiration for me. The whole reason I became Swerve.
Sean is a good dude.
Sean is incredible. I can't wait to meet him. It's got working on a lot of projects. Flyboy Zombies, we just recorded 2 tracks with this week. I'm out when I go to LA. I'm working. I'm grinding. I'm moving. I'm shaking. I leave a space open as well for like whatever pops up because you know LA
like the
things
No Contest Wrestling Podcast,
right?
Like I moved space for you guys.
Appreciate that.
I made sure I was like not on Wednesday. So I made sure that to happen. Music is like really become something it feels like the independent wrestling hustle again.
Yeah.
It's like now I'm like getting that like, ooh,
you're addicted to the grind.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I was like, let's try to get this feature. Let's reach out to so-and-so. Let's go here. Let's like, hey, I can be in that studio. Hey, what do you need? We can be here. We can be here. Like, let's get on these festivals. Let's get on these shows. We're on the 17th and 18th. We're performing with Fozzy again in New York and Philly. Okay. And I got a New York con earlier that day. So we're just moving. It's like, oh man, I got that hustle again. Yeah, and then so like the 17th, 18th, 19th, my daughter has her homecoming, so I got to drive all the way down.
Oh yeah,
do the homecoming with
gotta be there.
Do the photos with big baby girl.
Yeah,
and I get them for another day or so, and then back on the grind, and then so the balance is getting there. Not always can't make everything, but I'm working on that too. And working on bringing them into these things as well, and not just be like, "You're over here, you're over here." I want this to be like a big family thing.
Yeah,
but it can't always be a big family thing.
Yeah.
And which is heartbreaking side of that too, which you'll see in the documentary. Certain things that just
Well, dude, you
got to let them know though, real quick.
What you want?
Swerve Strickland, you are officially
the
second member that we are going to induct in the No Contest Wrestling Podcast Hall of Fame. Congratulations, my brother. Congratulations.
We keep trying to get confetti, but Rich won't let us.
We don't have it. But we'll get it eventually.
You better sweep that too.
Yeah, I'm not down.
Now here's the thing. As we put you in our Hall of Fame, you're going to have, like the NFL, you're going to have your own bus. You're going to have your Swerve section ring. But what we need is...
I make the bus, though. That's the only problem.
3 matches. We need 3 Swerve Strickland matches, kill shot matches, to put on a loop to run next to your bust in the Hall of Fame. What 3 matches should we have that live on forever in the NC?
There could be there could be
Hall of Fame.
There could be 3 just from AEW alone. Man, that means so much. You don't have to.
They can be any.
Yeah.
Texas Deathmatch gotta be.
Just something that this is Swerve Strickland. The people who may have never seen you.
Oh man, me and Danielson Wembley has to be up there.
Incredible.
Even in a loss, I don't care. Like that was like probably one of the best.
You had me looking crazy on Twitter. We're gonna talk about it later, but
I know. I feel you.
I
was trying to put that man away, the old Washington man away. He is,
but like in that
crafty.
That match is like what Jay said: a loss ain't a loss; it's a lesson.
It made me bigger.
Appreciate it. It's a blessing, right?
Like Brian Danielson, he made me a bigger performer. He made me a big time performer because I didn't have to be in that position. He could have been there with anybody.
Yeah,
but he knew with me we were going to do something special, and we did. More special than I even could have predicted. Even like going out there with Bun B, Prophet, the producer who made the song Big Pressure, Flash, Who Kid, West Side Gun, all being on that stage. That's a lot of hip hop royalty to just compact into that kind of thing. Nana being a part of that. Yeah. Being someone I watched when I was like in 2005, I was watching Nana, and then like to revive his career in 2024, it's like that's huge. That doesn't happen often. So that me and Hangman Texas Death, of course. Yeah, that was like where Kia Forum shot up. This is like crazy heights of violence and like athleticism and truly believing these 2 guys really just wanted like
to murk each other.
Just end it, and it could end at any moment. You didn't know when. Fortitude of like. Constantly just want to keep moving, keep going, keep wanting to push each other to the limit of things. And shout out to Hangman, like as much as I don't want to. Shout out to Hangman for he had a Texas Deathmatch earlier that year with Moxley.
All right. Come on, man. I can't schedule more than one of these a year.
like he had it earlier that year, and I'm like, man, that's at the bar then. Mm-hmm. I was like, I know I can do something special with that, you know. And here we are. Later on, and then the third, it might be like, I'm not trying to be deathmatch heavy like that. But those are the three things I kind of like. Because if you're gonna put them on loop, you don't want too much blood around here.
Hey man, they know what they signed up for. They want a wrestling show.
That's a lot. I'm like, that's a lot of blood. That's a lot of blood just flowing around.
Because if I can't tell the story of Swerve Strickland without,
I'm not putting. This isn't my choice.
Yeah,
but a lot of people don't see. Haven't talked about my debut on 205 Live was against Drew Gulak, main eventing after SmackDown. I had to go after Roman and those guys, and we still stole the show.
Nice.
After that, if somebody could find that in the, out there in the
YouTube land,
it might not even be on YouTube because it was like 205. But like that match was like something that's where I knew like I arrived. I'm like, you can't tell me shit.
Yeah,
it's PC.
He here now.
Yeah, like you can't tell me shit. And then I went to the PC next day and they told me shit. Yeah. Anyway, but like that was one of the ones I felt like I knew. I was like, I know that I can crank these arenas. Yeah, that was before I became an arena style wrestler. I was like, I know I can. I know what I'm talking about. But that's one to seek out for anybody that doesn't know. And I would say, I'll just do it. Lucha Underground, Hell of War.
It's not bad.
I mean, you had ESPN covering pro wrestling at a time where they would not cover pro wrestling.
Yeah. Like just for the impact alone, it's like up there with like that's always going to follow me in my career. But it's like,
and remember, this is just 3 to start. As the career goes, we're going to keep adding to the loop.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like asking 50 Cent in the club. All right, I'll play it.
Yeah, man. Get up there. It's my birthday, bro.
It bought me 2-3 cribs.
Sure. It's a diamond record. Okay, double diamond. Yeah, all right. But I would say those 3 for sure.
So folks seek those out.
Yeah. But honestly, I didn't even know if I would add more past Lucha Underground like that. I didn't know the impact of these matches would have traveling like that. And in a sense, me and Keith winning the tag titles was another one of those moments. And then defending them against the Acclaimed at all out, which people did not see that match coming like that. Yeah. That's another one that's real near and dear to my heart because we had to follow Kenny and the Elite earlier that night. That was a high bar, and we smashed it. I think
you definitely did.
And once again, I talk about, we brought the Acclaimed up.
Doubt.
And that's always the goal. I'm never trying to put someone down. I'm always we push you. We push you because we need another person here.
Yeah.
We need that. I never and I think they learned that from that night. It's because going in, they were just kind of oh man, we always get these opportunities and we fail and we all get these. I'm like, no. You fail because the people, they're not putting you in a position to succeed. We're going to put you in a position to succeed through failure.
Yeah.
And they learned that lesson. They were like, wow, we never felt that.
You're going to look good.
Yeah, that's the goal, man.
Well, dude, this, just hearing about your life, hearing about how when you got into the military and your pop said, you're not going to change the government. And then you get to this point in your life when you find your career path, and you have changed it. You have been able to do that with your contract. It's a beautiful full circle. We want to thank you for everything that you've done for the business, and thank you for your time on the No Contest Wrestling Podcast, man. Swerve Strickland.
Beautiful. I love this, what y'all have set up. Can't wait to see more of it. And I'm whatever y'all need, I'm here.
Tell a friend. Pushing. That's what we need. We need you
to
go back to the office and let them know that this is the spot
y'all doing it. Y'all know, if y'all know, understand how much y'all reach is. Y'all doing it yourselves. I can speak you know,
Oh, thank God.
I can speak a little bit more, but y'all doing it for yourselves.
Yeah, man, but
It's one of them things, like you said, the work speaks for you.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need me to speak for you. Your work will, but I will do it anyway.
The word of a world champion, you know,
forever champion.
You know,
I love people are saying like, no, forever champion.
You notice I
Forever
didn't
champion.
say former either. I said the word of a world champion.
I'm gonna change my bio when I leave here.
Yeah, smart. You heard it
One
here
time
first,
champion, like,
folks.
no, forever.
Forever champion.
Swerve.
But yeah, dude, thank you for your time, bro. Make sure you guys check out the No Contest Wrestling Podcast every Wednesday. Give it up for Swerve Strickland, bro.
Hey.
Give it up.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Our interview with the great Swerve Strickland. That's the second time Samoa Joe has been on one of these bar fight lists,
Right.
man.
So what's that tell you?
That's a bad man. We gotta get him on. We gotta get you on the pod, Joe.
No doubt. We got to get Samoa Joe. And if you're in a bar fight, you might be who you want with you.
Right, exactly. TJ, tell the people where they can find us, please.
Oh, remember, you can find us everywhere, dog. We're at Instagram, No Contest Wrestling Podcast. Twitter, there's No Contest. YouTube, the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page. We might be down the block from you. Who knows?
And make sure you guys follow us on social media, because that is where we're going to let you know who that third guest is.
No doubt. No Contest Wrestling Podcast. And remember, real G's move in silence like Vern Gagne.